Hello. I wanted to do a video today about this television show that I used to watch as a kid. I thought it was a show from the 80s, but just today I was reading up about it, and it started in 1989, so it's kind of technically an early 90s show. But in my head, I classify it as an 80s show because I remember being a kid and watching it. It's called Quantum Leap. Um, I think people who around that time, like a kid around that time, or people around that time would know that show. It seems like a lot of my friends remember watching that show as a kid. I really liked it a lot. I just have fond memories of it. What happened was last week I was at my friend's house and Quantum Leap came up on TV, like just on one of the other channels, and I was like, whoa! As soon as I heard the intro music, I remembered the show, and then we watched a little bit of the episode, and I was like, it's really nostalgic. That's the word. That's the perfect word for it. And when I was watching it, I was thinking, oh, I wonder what happened if there was ever an ending. Like, what happened? Did he ever go home? At the end of it. Because I remember watching it, but then never watching the final episode, like on TV. The idea of the show is the main character's name is Sam, and he's a I'm just trying to remember from memory, but I think he's a scientist who wanted to go back in time to help people or change history to help people, like right some wrongs and things like that. And he was doing some like working on the research project or something of it, and I was just reading it today about the storyline, and they were going to cut his funding unless he proved that it would work. So he kind of tested himself on it or something. I'm not really sure. That's just what I heard. But the basic idea is he got teleported back in time, and he appears as someone else. So he at the start of every episode, there's like this blue light, and he appears, and he's like controlling someone else. Like let's just say for instance, he's Elvis Presley. So he'll start the episode here, and he's Elvis Presley, and he has to do something before he can jump to the next leap. He's got to fix something or right some wrong, and he has this friend Al, who's a hologram, who appears in every episode, get to talk to him and give him advice about what he thinks he should do to make the next leap. And yeah, in each episode he's a different character, and it's just really entertaining. And yeah, the whole idea of the show is that it's like he's helping people, one life at a time. And yeah, today what happened was I watched the final episode. I tracked down the final episode and watched it, and it was the last 5 or 10 minutes were just fantastic. Like it's such a I won't do any spoilers just in case you want to watch it, but it was such a good ending. I really like the ending, and it's one of those endings where it's like happy in a way and sad in another way, and just really good, and it just stays with you. And I was reading a comment from somebody who was because today I typed in I love Quantum Leap and just read a whole lot of um, posts about it and things like that, and a lot of people really love the show. And one person wrote that he watched the ending when he was 7 years old and he cried, and it's stayed with him ever since then. And I can totally agree. I think the ending is just so it just I'll tell you what happened. Like today, I watched the final episode, and like afterwards, I just had this sad feeling, like not in a bad way, but I just felt really sad for the character. Like, hopefully that's not a spoiler, but and I was actually going to a Christmas party at dinner time, and even just before I went to the Christmas party, I was still like sad from what happened from watching the final episode of Quantum Leap, and I had to think to myself, cheer up, it's a Christmas party. So yeah, it was just so it just stays with you, like in a good way. Like I love it. Um, like like there's a lot of shows that I watch, they're great, and then when they end, the end might not be as good as the rest of the show and things like that. But this ending was fantastic, really, really good. And one thing I really want to say about Quantum Leap, the show, I think it has a lot of soul. Like I think that's the best way to describe it. The two actors who played Sam and Al, I know the guy that plays Sam is Scott Bakula. I think I've forgotten the name of the guy who plays Al, but both those actors were so good in these roles. You can tell that they love these characters, and it's like it's hard to describe unless you're a fan of this show to know what I'm talking about. But it's just not a television show. It feels like I know that there are two actors who, they're still around, still alive, but to me, like those characters, they felt so real, and the ending felt so real that it makes you sad. Um, and it's yeah, they brought these characters to life, and all the people involved in this show, the writer, the director, and all that, they're fantastic. It might have been just 5 seasons. It might have gotten cancelled at the end or something, but they made something that it just feels like it's well, the people who watched it, it's gonna live on forever. I mean, the people who liked the show, it's gonna be live on forever in their memories, and maybe with DVDs and everything now, new people can watch it and like it. But yeah, I really like the show a lot. Like I haven't gone back and watched all the episodes, so I don't know what it's like going back to watch it. But I remember I really liked the show as a kid and watched it every week. I think it was, or most, all the time. And I'm so glad I ended up watching the final episode. So if you've never seen the show before, I highly recommend. Well, and if you think you're into it, I don't know if everyone will like it, but if you think you're into it, I think it's worth checking out because the show has a lot of soul. Like it's not just entertainment. I mean, it's entertaining, but it's not just something like like a popcorn movie where you just watch it and forget about it straight away or something. It's like yeah, it's hard to describe, but it's very, very good. I think that's all I want to talk about, except that, yeah, the actors who play it are brilliant. They, they, the acting in the final, episode, because that's the only one I watched recently. It's brilliant. Like Scott Bakula, the way he, you know, um, yeah, it's fantastic. I'll end the video now, otherwise I'll just keep talking about how much I like it. But great show, really like it a lot. Quantum Leap.